Another coffee mug. This is branded Jaguar. It's the no-tip model that they had in the 80s before cup holders. Nice non-skid bottom. It's not supposed to slosh out of there. I don't remember carrying coffee to work in the 80s, but apparently that's the way it was done. I've had this for quite a while. Paid just like 50 cents for it. Finally got a best offer of $14.25 going to California. Another box of used cassettes. This is a box of a dozen. The MXL UDC90, nothing special. And I've got these priced at $80 a dozen. I've got about a dozen boxes, and somebody in Canada made me an offer of $69, and I said sure. It's a pair of brown Doc Martens in probably their most popular or easiest to sell model, the 1460. I find these from time to time at garage sales and thrift stores. When it comes to Doc Martens, I pretty much just buy the ones made in England. They seem to be the desirable ones. These were like $5, and they sold for $90. This is a pair of 3M Tech ear protection along with built-in radio. I picked these up at a estate sale for just $2. And when I researched them, I see that there's a lot of them out there for sale. So I didn't have a lot of hope for a quick sale, but they did sell within a couple of weeks for $45. Neckties are very easy to find, cheap, but they do take a long time to sell unless you really know what you're doing. I thought I knew what I was doing with this one. It's a Peanuts 50th anniversary celebration Snoopy Christmas tie. I've had this a couple of years. Finally sold it $18. This was a box lot acquisition at an auction, and it's archery parts. Got parts of bows and handles of crossbows. I don't know anything about archery other than the basics, but I thought I'd recognize some of these names because I have sold some bows in the past. So I picked these up. I got in on the bidding, and I got it for $5, and put it up for sale, and immediately got an offer on just one piece for $50. And before I had a chance to answer that, somebody bought the whole lot for $100. This is a Sansui AM/FM stereo tuner. Just a tuner, not an amplifier. And this is a consignment item. Like most people, I don't like to do consignments, but a friend of mine asked me if I would sell this for him, and we agreed on a best offer of $165. Vintage microphones I picked up at a estate sale for $2 a piece. Kind of a no-name one here. A Shure, which is always a good brand. And Electro Voice, EV, always a good brand. I was only able to test one of them, the Shure, because the other two required cords I do not have. Again, $2 a piece, and I sold the lot for $55. This is a pair of compact Minolta binoculars. And this is my last pair. Lucky there's an estate sale coming up, because that's where I find them usually for about $10 to $12, sometimes less. This pair actually I paid $8 for, and they sold for $60. Another one of my favorites, a Pioneer turntable. This is a PL530, which is a very popular one. This is from 1970. Pretty good shape. I picked this up with a Pioneer amplifier from a guy who listed them on Craigslist. And I got the pair for $300. And this one just sold for $540. This is a vintage 70s ITT telephone. Kind of weird looking. Caught my eye. Bought it for $2 and it sold for $27. This is a vintage disc washer set. It's got the wooden brush, the bottle of cleaning fluid. It's about 3/4 full. All the accessories and instructions. This came free with a turntable that I had purchased about a month ago, and it sold pretty quickly for $73. This is a vintage 1987 Coleman steel belted 40 quart cooler. Just has the plastic handles, not the ones with the bottle openers. Even with scratches and sometimes with a few dents, as long as the drain spout is in good shape and there's no cracks or odors inside, these sell pretty well. This one I picked up for $6 at a estate sale, and it sold for $72. I haven't included the sale of cassette tapes for a while because they're just, well, frankly, they're boring. This was interesting. These are 5 10-packs of brand new Maxell cassette tapes. They sold for $54, and I sold 12 used Maxell tapes for over $70 just earlier in the week. This is a metal garden sundial. It originally came with a stand, but I was made an offer of $35 without the stand, and that was fine by me. This was just a $2 estate sale item. Time takes all but memories. Kind of a weather-beaten sundial, but somebody wanted it bad enough. This is a Casio SK1 sampling keyboard. You often see these at garage sales for $1 or $2, but you have to make sure they work. This one happened to come with the AC adapter, and I was able to test it right in the garage, but usually I bring a handful of batteries in the car with me, along with even speaker with speaker wire, so I can test out amplifiers and things like that while out on the road. I included a photocopy of the manual that I found online. Sometimes I just link to it on the listing, but this one I decided to print off for them. And I sold this for $90. Nothing more sickening to a teenager growing up in Minnesota is to see this hat in your rearview mirror after you were pulled over. State Trooper hat, made by Stratton. This was purchased at an antique show for $10, and it sold for $80.